this is how deep I've gone with the Dibby thing, right? A while ago, someone emailed me saying, "What the fuck is a Dibby?" Because they were writing their EPQ on Dibbies for some reason.
What's an EPQ?
It's like you choose. It's like a thesis. You choose like a question and you explore it, or whatever.
So they did their thesis on what is a Dibby, and then they asked you what one is. They got you to write their thesis.
It was like part of it. It wasn't the whole thing. Wasn't about it, but effectively, it forced me to try and write down and describe what I think it is. So I need you guys to assess what I've written here. So I've got the email I sent them. So this is kind of me bullet pointing, replying to their questions. So a Dibby or Dibbies is almost a gut feeling, but at the same time, there are some very obvious examples of what I'm trying to describe. Minions, BB-8, the aliens from Toy Story, Olaf from Frozen. Comic relief or plot device are too broad for what I'm talking about, because a Dibby can be one, both, or neither, which leads me to believe that there are a couple of criteria that define Dibbies. A key aspect of a Dibby is the smallness and or cuteness. It needs to be broad enough to be widely marketable, e.g. most Dibby characters will have an extremely popular pop vinyl figure or large fandom based around it specifically, Baby Yoda, Pikachu, etc. The purpose of Dibbies in movies is to use their cuteness, appeal, and or comedy to manipulate audiences into liking a product or idea, often with the intended goal of the Dibby becoming a worldwide marketing prodigy. Dibbies have a range of impact on the stories they take place in, hence the difficulty narrowing down a concise definition. On one hand, you could point to a movie like Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, where the Dibby is a crucial MacGuffin who drives the story. On the other hand, the Porgs from Star Wars were created to cover up the puffins that filled the location they were shooting, as well as being heavily marketable. The term Dibby does not necessarily relate to their function in a screenplay. I think Dibbies are mostly an afterthought or unfortunate reality of designing entertainment for children. While not specific to children's content, the vast majority of Dibby implementation is at the hands of desperate adults trying to create characters that kids want on a lunchbox. The fact these types of characters are so rarely talked about goes to show their importance on stories, which to me helps highlight the cynical side of filmmaking. Dibbies are present in a surprising amount of high-reaching places. I haven't done the research to discover the original Dibby. However, studios such as Disney or DreamWorks have been using these cute characters for jokes, merchandise, and iconography for years. They're not exclusive to low-budget animation. I'm sure plenty of marketing from all sources have Dibbies brandished all over them. There are definitely Dibbies that I like, but it is rare that a Dibby will be anything more than just that, a Dibby. I think, as a concept, they're specifically designed to be as inoffensive as possible, although, as with many storytelling devices, they can be implemented with class, i.e. WALL-E, or as plain and obvious as a minion. I have no idea where the term came from, it just feels right.
Okay, think of an adult. Think of a really mature, something not for kids show. Name me a Dibby from it.
So it has to be edgy?
No, it just has to be an adult show, like Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad Dibby. What do you think?
No. It just doesn't make sense.
So you're saying... So what we're saying is
As
Dibbies...
I said, it usually tends to be in children's entertainment or, where there are silly character designs and it's going for a certain audience.
Dark Souls has Dibbies in?
Does it?
No.
What do you think, Jim? Do you agree with my write-up there?
Yes and no.
Oh, Jesus. Where's your problem?
Call of Duty has Dibbies in?
I
think you're picking the most, edgy...
I think a crucial part of what Dibbies are is that Dibbies aren't really known...
Because they're not real, I just made it up.
Yeah.
Like, this is all made up.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's kind of dishonest for you to treat them as some sort of thesis.
Destiny's massively edgy, and that's got a Dibby in.
It's not edgy in the same way Breaking Bad or COD is, though. It's still like...
It's no different to bloody COD.
It is.
Okay, the campaign.
Isn't it like T for teen?
Yeah.
It doesn't have like children being murdered in it and shit. And terrorist attacks.
Dibby's being murdered.
So do you generally agree, Jim?
Sure. Yeah.
What is the word for it other than Dibby? Like, what is the word for it?
Minion?
Yeah, minion.
Minion!
Minion!